Very happy now to be joined by Cynthia Frelund from the NFL Network. She is their analytics analyst.
Woo!
And Cynthia, there we go. Got it.
Now, that's how you know you're a pro.
You got to navigate some tough waters in
You
there.
do.
That could go sideways in a hurry.
It really can. Trust me. I've sat here, and keeping a straight face is my secret power. When it goes sideways, I'm like, yep, that's what we're going with.
And we're just going to go ahead and pretend like that didn't just happen. Cynthia, thank you so much for being with us. And just, I want to start on a top level because as the Cleveland Browns, I know that we deal with this a lot. Oh, the Browns use analytics. The Browns use.
Wait, did you do?
We apparently, and some people are up in arms about it. So what does that mean to you, just analytics in general, and how it can be applied in the National Football League?
Well, I think first off, the Browns do a really good job of, sure, we can call the word analytics. I don't even know what that means anymore, like the A word. It's just overused. But the reality is it's organizing your data in such a way that it's usable and in a timely manner, like in the time you can use it, right?
Yep.
That's it. That's all it is.
It's perfect.
And let's keep it that simple because the reality is it takes a lot for it to be that simple, and that's what the Browns do really well. They do a lot of advanced, sophisticated things, but it's also that you can make quick decisions that are higher probability of being the outcome that you want. Not perfect. Nothing's a perfect decision.
Isn't it hard for people to get their head around that, though? It's well, if you used analytics, you have to get the right outcome.
But that drives
you're
me crazy.
Just trying to, on the margins, improve the likelihood of the desired outcome.
Think about it. This is to me, this crystallizes it, right? If there's 70 plays in a football game, if you are getting 10% better, those are 7 plays. Now, how many games have come down to 7 plays?
All of them.
Right. So the reality is that's 10%.
Right.
Hello, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So just that I hate on the broadcast. You can imagine. I sit there and sometimes I'm wearing these big we're wearing microphone right now and earphones right now. I sit there and I have to cover my no, I rock back and forth. The analytics say to go from what analytics are you using? I don't know what it said. Their book says to go, and I don't know if their right tackle's beaten up. I don't know if their quarterback just got sacked 6 times and he's seeing stars. No, I don't know what it says.
Right.
Don't tell me what it says. I don't know. And it drives me crazy.
As somebody who lives in this world, I find one of the biggest challenges is outcome bias.
Oh, of course.
Where people don't understand
100%.
that you can have the right process and not get the right outcome. I would imagine a lot of people listening have gone to Vegas, and they go and they play blackjack, and they've got 11. The dealer's showing a 6. You double down because the odds are in your favor, and that's how you have a little bit of an advantage over the house. You're not always going to win that double down. And it can be very frustrating when we don't, but it was still the right decision.
Remember you took the SAT?
Oh, sure.
And you know how they told you you should guess if you can narrow it down to there's 5 choices.
Yep.
So you got if you're guessing, you have a 20% chance of getting it right. If you can narrow down 2 of those, you've increased your chances of being right to 33%.
Right.
You now still have to pick the right one to get the 100, but you've increased the chances that you're going to pick the right one. That's all it is.
Yeah.
People get real, they get mad at me. Some of the old get off my lawn coaches will get really mad at me because they're you said, and then we won the game. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was but you were not the favorite in that game.
Because life and football games are not the simulations where there's an infinite number of simulations where if you increase your odds, it's going to bear out to that over time. But it's one thing.
Also, oh, I said you were going to win in 58% of outcomes. That's
right.
not even.
That's still 42% times you're going to lose. 42 out of 100. That's still a decent number. Yeah. I think. Do you find, as you meant, get off my lawn, that is kind of one of the real challenges because every business does it. Every
business does it. If you're not, then
you're struggling and you're missing out on better profits, better margins, et cetera. Is that one of the challenges, just getting people to understand what we're actually talking about? You're not saying because we put this work and we put this process in, it's automatic.
Right.
But what we're saying is over 1 billion simulations, you would have a better outcome more often than you would without making this decision.
I think it's more how organized. I think we all agree. If you're more organized and you you can be the best football mind in the world, but if you're a scatterbrain, you can't use that information. You have to be able to be actionable with your insights.
Yep.
I used to be a banker, so it actually doesn't make me so crazy when they don't listen because I'm great, then I'll just go over here. You've revealed yourself to me, which is great. I like knowing that. Now I know who I can be.
Right.
I
like that.
Maybe I've just been doing a lot of therapy, namaste. I just let it go. But I think all
That's
football
good.
people need a lot of therapy. Let's be clear, we all do. But
no doubt.
what are we doing? We're watching people run at each other full speed. We're all a little crazy. But no. But I think it's like having patience is like if you love something that you're doing, like I don't get too worked up over it anymore because now I'm just kind of like, okay, like.
Yeah,
I know
right.
you like if you don't want to get a little better, if you want to be disorganized, if you don't want to use this information, I will use it.
I'll use it, and I will profit.
And then I will buy Apple, like 20 years ago, and you can buy whatever's not. You know what I mean?
You
like
can buy your old blue chip, exactly.
You can buy GM stock, and I'll buy. No, I'm a GM baby, so I can say that. My dad.
All right, let's talk about trends that you are seeing in the league, and I want to throw one thing out at you and get your reaction to it. So you look at I think it's the last 8 Super Bowl champions.
Yep.
I think 6 or 7 of them are top 5 in the league in scoring offense. Most of them are in the top 3, and then there was the one outlier that was 8th. But all of them are in the top quartile of the league in scoring. Are we focusing on too many things, or do you need to be an elite scoring team to win in the NFL today?
Well, there's a couple things in play. Number one, the rules have changed such that you have an advantage if your offense is good, and that's part of how we have evolved this game. It's not the same as it was. Like we talk about this all the time. It's like a couple people keep asking me, like, is Bryce Young too small to start at quarterback? Like, if you were to put him on a 1992 team, he would be.
Sure.
But this is how the league's evolved because that's how college evolved. So that's the other thing that's happening. College has evolved so that the rules favor offense. NFL has evolved so that we have more. It's for safety, and by the way, they're great changes. I'm all into like everything that's been happening, but it's the evolution of the game. So the thing that you have to realize is it also does make like your corners more valuable and your stopping of people scoring more valuable. So but the reality is and if you all look at some of the top scoring offenses, like some of them had to like. Well, one, the Eagles played a more favorable schedule. The NFC's much easier conference than the AFC, number one. And then number two, the Chiefs had to because look at who they played. So it's sure, but the good teams tend to score anyways. And also it's just and skill players have evolved in certain ways where we have advantages in passing right now because we're passing more than ever and quicker scores happen. So you have those 70 plays in a game and you're passing more often. Maybe you even have 80 plays now, right? Yeah. So it's just kind of the evolution of what we've seen. So coming out of college, there's more focus on passing. Passing tends to score faster, and then you have a longer game from an actual standpoint, right? Because you're not running, which takes more time off the clock, makes the game shorter.
Absolutely.
It's all kind of it all kind of converges, right?
Sure.
But that actually means that like if you were to be able to like get Nick Chubb to just like run every single down, you wouldn't need to be the top scoring offense, and you could still win games. Like
squeeze the football.
Right. So it's just kind of like we have more passing. So of course that it's going to be up more. You're playing more.
I think
snaps.
You have more margin for error if you're a team that can pass because then you can win from a variety of paths. You don't need to be in control ahead to run.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: Cynthia, you are the GM.
Great.
What in your mind? If you go 3 or you can go 5, up to you. The most important positions. Take quarterback out. Take quarterback out of it. The next 3 most important positions in your mind, from your data and just from everything you know about the game.
Pass rusher.
Okay.
Left tackle.
Okay.
And
bring back Joe Thomas. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love Joe's like
what a human.
Oh my God, I was like crying when he was the happiest person at the Super Bowl ever to be, as he should, with his yellow jacket. I'm like, hold on, really quick. So I asked him, "Are you going to use your playing face for your bust, or are you going to use your face now?" Because he's lost some weight. So
we're well aware of. He's an Adonis.
Very, very interesting.
He's going old school. He's going pudgy with a little beard.
I loved it. I loved it. So, anyways, and then I would say I would probably say wide receiver, and then after that corner, but. The corner and wide receiver, like this is the year I think where we start to see, like if you have a really good corner, you're starting to see it pay dividends. Like look at the Jets; they didn't have a great team top to bottom, but you put Sauce in there, and also DJ Reed's great too, right? That was a great free agent. That was a great, and they had a huge advantage because of those two things together. So corner, we didn't have great corners coming out of the past few drafts. We had a few, but not the depth of it. And we had a lot of depth at receiver. So now we'll start to see these things even back out because I think the corners are starting to become, the defensive backs coming out of college are starting to sort of catch up.
It's going to be fun. Going to be fun to see. Listen, we've got the edge rusher. We've got the corners. We've got Amari.
I love Myles Garrett's like my favorite.
He's a different kind of guy.
I don't actually think we're the same species, him and me.
No, exactly.
Like,
he is.
I'm like a little too little for that.
He is ginormous.
He's a ginormous human being. Anyways, he's great. I love it.
Tremendous. You're great. Thank you so much for being with us.
Me.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. We'll do it again in the future.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.